Sheesh boys, welcome back. Today, I'm going to take you through my exact plan that if I was to lose everything I have right now, here's exactly what I would do. And here's the most interesting part about this challenge. I'm not allowed to use any of my previous experiences or my contacts. So I can't just go around saying, yes, I'm Hamza's ex-editor and I fucking built a YouTube channel to 2 million subscribers, because that's not really going to prove helpful to you guys because a lot of you aren't in that position just yet. Just yet. Let's say I have nothing apart from my skill set, okay? That's where we're building from. That's our building blocks. That's our foundation. I would absolutely fucking all in on video editing, obviously. This is where my expertise lie. I have the skill set which helped build an editing team of 8 members, some of which I trained from scratch to edit one of the most popular and relatable formats in all of YouTube. It was one of the most effective formats to actually reaching the target audience. And when the content reaches the target audience, that's where the big bucks are made. And if you plop yourself in the middle here as a video editor, you're going to be in between that money stream and you're gonna make a lot of money. Video editing is exploding in demand. Everyone is making some sort of content, even massive corporations. They're all gonna need video editors. And they're not just needing mechanically good video editors, because that's one thing. They need emotionally intelligent video editors, guys who use their brain, guys who invest in their vision and bring it to life, guys who can reach that target audience intelligently. This skill set is very, very high value, and it's very hard to replace because it's very unique. I don't think I am mechanically the best video editor in the world by any shot. I know some of the guys who are on the team working with Hamza were definitely better mechanically than me. They made perhaps cleaner animations. But what I do very well is the connection and the attachment to the message that the content creator is trying to put out there and connecting it to the target audience. Your message can be very empowering and very awesome, but if it doesn't reach a target audience, it doesn't matter. And I'm 100% sure that I could emulate similar results with another client, the right client that is. And I have already done that on a more passive, assistant-based level for a few of my friends. And now they're running incredibly successful YouTube channels. I do have that secret sauce, and it is replicable, and I'm 100% sure I could emulate the same success, if not similar. How long it would take, I'm not entirely sure, but that doesn't really matter as long as you get there, right? With Hamza, it didn't take long at all. 6 months before we started to really see massive spikes in growth. And I think it took 3 months to actually develop the Jeffrey and Adonis format. One thing I would change about what I didn't do the first time around is I would 100% invest in my skill set. I have been editing for 13 years, okay? And I only started making money through video editing about 3 years ago, which is insane. And yes, to be fair, a fair few of those years were just me mucking around on passion projects, but I could have started monetizing the skill so much sooner if I had known better. And I could have literally fast-tracked my skill set and learning all of this shit and how to actually negotiate and make money doing what I love if I had just invested in my skill set. If I had bought new computer equipment, if I had bought books, if I had bought software, if I had bought courses and learning resources. And the thing is, you only value shit which you pay for. Back in the day, I was a really big pirater. I would pirate everything that I could. I'd pirate my fucking house if I could. But the thing is, you get all this free shit, but you don't value it and you don't end up actually doing much with it. But if you actually lay down some cash, you'll find that you start to utilize these things a lot more and you actually start taking the shit seriously. So for example, if I invested in a course which is designed to allow me to monetize my video editing skill, you bet your ass I would have made it work, because I've spent hundreds of dollars on this course teaching me how to do exactly that. Anyway, that's my only regret really. I didn't invest in my skill and it took me a stupid amount of time to actually begin making money doing what I love. Finding the right client. I'm a big believer in really investing in one client. That's what worked for me. And I find that if you're juggling many different clients, you're gonna have a much harder time trying to understand their vision, their goals, and their target audience. You're essentially splitting your attention in half, right? But this depends massively on who your client is. In my case, my client being Hamza, Hamza needed me to edit a video every single day. Hamza had a ridiculous amount of work for me to do. And for 9 months, I was Hamza's only editor and I would edit every single video every single day. So I had a constant stream of work. I had no reason to look for other clients. However, if your client is more along the lines of quality over quantity, let's say, and each video is more like a project rather than a mini project, you might want to consider numerous clients. But either way, you want to find the right people to be working with who are going like this, not like this. People who have abundance mindset rather than scarcity mindset. And you want to build a ridiculous amount of rapport. You want to actually become friends with these people. This is insanely important, and no one fucking talks about this. In my case, if I actually want to help someone achieve levels of success with what they're doing, I genuinely have to fucking like them. If I don't really like you, I'm not invested enough in you to give enough of a shit whether your YouTube video gets 100 views or 100,000 views. You need to build a relationship with your client. It's very important. I became best friends with Hamza, and we made a fucking formidable team because of that. It's that teamwork. It's those two ideas coming together, which is where the big bucks are going to be made. And especially so if you don't agree on everything. I was Hamza's biggest critic when we worked together. A lot of people seem to have thought that I was just some fucking yes man, and it's actually really not the case. I disagreed with Hamza on a lot of shit, and then we would debate on it, and then we'd meet somewhere in the middle, which is usually around about the right fucking answer, which is why that shit worked. And that's why rapport's so important, because you need to be able to actually constructively criticize each other as well. And again, you need to genuinely invest in your client. You need to join them in visualizing their goals, what they want, what they're trying to achieve. It's a very unselfish role. But at the same time, it is selfish, because once you actually do that, once you stop being selfish and think about the other person, everything that you've been wanting to achieve in life comes your way anyway. And you know what? The pay can be mid at the start. It can. If they're not in the position to pay you a fantastic amount from the get-go, fine. As long as you have the correct foundations and the correct building blocks to work with, then you're a-okay. You're not in a fucking rush to get rich. This shit can take time, and building a reputation and results can take time. I'm not saying you should start working for shit pay, because then you're getting taken advantage of. As your client begins racking up wins, you should also be racking up wins, because you are a team, and that's the dynamic you want. Team. As soon as you start to think your client is perhaps being a bit scarcity mindset, you can talk to him about it, because again, you've built up that rapport and you can criticize each other, and you can make calculated decisions from that point on. But the reason why finding the correct client is so important is because you don't want to be working with guys who don't understand the scarcity and abundance mindset differences. So many guys on YouTube don't get this. They underpay their editors, they underpay their script writers, they underpay their thumbnail guys. And even when they start racking up some results, they continue to underpay, because they've normalized how much they pay for this. What they don't get is the importance of having a solid fucking team behind you. They forget how important that is once they start getting results. So they end up churning through fucking 16 video editors a month and wasting a fuck ton of time constantly putting out new job applications to find a new editor. Oh god, this video is edited in a completely different way to the last one. Your audience is fucking confused. You don't have a consistent fucking team behind you to talk about this shit with. And the result is shit. It's shit. You don't develop that fucking replicable and incredibly marketable format. You don't develop those incredible relationships with your co-workers. You're a lone wolf. And just from a selfish perspective, you're wasting a fuck ton of time. When the reality is, if you just paid your initial editor their worth, that editor could go full-time for you, pump out all of your videos, and you wouldn't have to look anywhere else. Anyway, that's a bit of a ramble on some of the YouTube creators who just don't fucking get this shit. There's guys who keep popping up inside of my academy, the clients and jobs section, like, oh, this guy's looking for a fucking editor again and again and again. And it's like, what the fuck's going on? And I speak to the editors, and it's like, yeah, they're pay shit. And they do like free videos, and that's all well and good, but then they're like, well, I can't continue to do this. This isn't fucking sustainable. And there's another guy here who's paying me my actual worth, so I'm gonna just leave this guy and go work for this guy who actually gives a shit about me and wants to actually grow and develop a format. But like I say, at the start, if you're planning on actually building with someone, you need to build that rapport, and it's okay to accept, like, you know, more mid pay for the time being, as long as when your client starts to win, which they will, because you're good at what you do and you deliver results, as long as you start winning with them, totally fine. We're not in a fucking rush. This shit takes time. And the best case scenario is always a day one ride or die. Same with girls. You want a day one ride or die. You don't want to find a chick when you're already balling, because then in the back of your mind, you're always going to be thinking, does she just like me for my money? Or is she actually here for the ride? You get paid the most and valued the most when you actually invest in someone before they have the result. Sorry, I rambled a bit there. I would also find any fucking way to get around the right people. Once again, whether that's investing in courses, in networking, in coaching, hanging around the right locations, I would find a way to get around the right people. If it was me, I would look at the landscape of YouTube, and I'd look at who has a solid ass network, who hangs around with a bunch of fucking killers constantly, who is consistently hanging around with winners, and then massive bonus if they're actually in the same sort of niche as me. And then I'll do whatever the fuck I could to get around that person, whether that's offering them free fucking editing, whether that's joining their coaching or their course or their community or whatever it is. I would find a way to get around that person, because That one contact, if you manage to build any sort of rapport with them, could be your ticket to freedom. Maybe they have a friend who's looking for an editor and their friend is a fucking millionaire and is like, yeah, you know, I've done really well with my business, but I want to start a personal brand, because that's where the influence is. And then this guy who you now know because you've built a little bit of rapport, maybe you've done some editing for him or you've bought into some program he sells. He's like, oh yeah, I know this guy, you know, this cool guy. We had a call. I actually coached him and yeah, it's really sound. I've seen some of his work. It's fucking awesome. And you know, you should hire this guy. Boom. You're now working with a millionaire. And the thing is, I know this to be true because I am that guy. I've landed some of my friends and also students who I particularly get along with roles with people who bring in millions of pounds a year, simply because they bought into one of my programs or they found a way to get in touch with me. Maybe they made me fucking laugh once. Maybe we just get along. Maybe I can actually have a chat with them without feeling awkward. And that's enough. So I would find any fucking way to get around the right people, because that is honestly going to be your massive shortcut to getting the results you need. And then beyond that, once you've found your client or your clients, you just continue to scale that business, their business. And with that, you scale their hierarchy. Maybe you start out at the bottom and you're just, you know, video editing. Then eventually, because you get along so well and you offer him some advice on YouTube, he's like, oh, hey, yeah, you should become like an advisor of mine. Pay goes up. You've scaled the hierarchy. Hey, you know what, Sam? You can advise me and also you can manage the video editing team. Pay goes up, you're scaling their hierarchy. And then you continue to do this until you're making good ass money. And not only that, you've actually built authority and reputation. And then another reason why building rapport is so important, because you want to be traveling the world with your clients eventually. You want your client to actually be happy to share a villa with you in Thailand, for example, or a high-rise apartment in Dubai. And the reason you want to do that is because you can leverage their networks. You're a video editor. You have limited access to their influence, right? But if you're able to, for example, go to Dubai with them, you're suddenly at dinners with fucking real G's. Real G's. Once again, millionaires, highly influential content creators. And again, I know this because this is exactly what I did. And I would do the exact same shit again. If I was just a video editor and I didn't build any rapport and my client didn't even really like me, maybe he pays me well, but he just doesn't really like me, I don't get access to his network. And because I'm building his channel and his brand, he's getting all of the influence there, and that's totally fine. But you need to find a way to work yourself into that, and that comes from building the rapport and the relationship with your client. And while you're doing this, you can also begin developing your own brand. There's no reason why you shouldn't be documenting your journey. It's only going to prove useful to you in the future. And you also get to develop a reputation. I was known to my client's audience because I did such a good job of actually injecting my own personality into Hamza's videos. And I would do the exact same thing again. I would actually make the viewing experience of my clients more interactive by just introducing a third character, me, who kind of breaks the wall sometimes. And the viewers find this very endearing, and then they actually develop a relationship with you. And with that, you'll start getting people commenting, great edit at XY, Sam, because they know you on a first name basis, and then maybe they follow you on Instagram and they want to learn more about you. And they're like, damn, I wish I could edit like Sam. I wonder what he does. I wonder where I can find him. Develop that reputation. It's very important. If I didn't actually develop myself into more of a character on Hamza's channel, I would just be, once again, another editor. And again, the rapport that you build with your client is important here, because if you're seen hanging around with your client, you're positioning yourself as someone of value to your client, which is a fantastic way to build yourself as an authority figure. Like, who is this fucking guy who's always in the pictures with this guy? I don't get it. He's always there. And then people start to get curious, you know, and they're like, oh, it's Sam. What does he do? Oh, he edits. Oh, so here's the one who made this format. Oh my God, that's amazing. This guy's really cool. I'll follow him. And then you're starting to build your own small amounts of influence while also continuing to remain loyal to your original client. Just still balls to the walls with his business. And when the time is right, maybe then you can launch pad full time to your own personal brand. Once your work here is done, you know, maybe it's never done. Maybe you want to work with this guy for the rest of time because you make such a fantastic team. And that's amazing. And there's fucking nothing wrong with that, by the way. Maybe you don't need to go full-time with your own personal brand. Maybe you're still full-time on your client's brand, but you do part-time on your own brand and start bringing in some passive income streams on the side. That's totally fucking fine as well. And with your own personal brand, you can literally just teach what you do and what you've done, which again is exactly what I'm doing right now. And I'm just literally telling you the steps how to emulate exactly what I did. Because if I was to start over, I would do the exact fucking same thing because it's proven so successful. And it's also proving very successful for a lot of my students as well. So I know this shit fucking works. And with your network, guys, you want to be a giver. Always, always, always giving value unselfishly. And I can really recommend reading the book Give or Take. I think it's by Adam Grant. Incredible book, and it'll explain to you why being a giver over a taker is going to make you a lot more successful in the long run. And once again, because you've been globetrotting with your client, you've been fucking going to Thailand, you've been riding your motorbikes, you've been going to Dubai and riding your fucking Lamborghinis, you're in high-rise buildings, you're doing poker nights, you're smoking cigars with a bunch of influencers and millionaires. You have a sick network now, because once again, you've been developing rapport with all of these people. You go to a dinner with your client and a bunch of his network, and you build rapport with those guys. And then you can actually leverage these connections when you do go to build your own personal brand, if you want. You don't have to, but I'm just laying out to you what I would do. Once you're at this point, you've got total financial and location freedom. You're absolutely fucking set, and you can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You don't have a fucking boss. You're not getting on the fucking tube to go to your office. You are fucking chilling. You can stay wherever you want. You can provide for your loved ones. You can buy a fucking car for your mom. You can fly your girlfriend out to be with you wherever you are in the world. You do whatever the fuck you want. So now you're investing in your lifestyle. Go to sick and inspiring places. Places which people want to be. Live the laptop lifestyle. Edit from a fucking beautiful cafe in Bali. There's no reason why you should stay in shithole UK when you're making Wi-Fi money. And build your alter ego. Build yourself into a fucking superhero. There's no reason why you have to be a geek and a video editor. Because the thing is, most video editors I see are just fucking geeks. And I don't get why. Why do you choose to be a geek when you can actually be a cool James Bond-like video editor? It's actually doable. Now, if you want to be a geek, fine. I don't care. But I don't want people to think that your video editor equals geek. It's not true. I know plenty of fucking cool ass creatives. You do not have to be a geek. So build yourself into your fucking James Bond-like character. Build your alter ego. Smoke your cigars if you like. Ride your fucking motorbikes. Take the most beautiful feminine girls on your dates. And have a fucking sick lifestyle. Genuinely, because your lifestyle is marketable as fuck, and that energy is infectious. People want to be around that energy. And then you're set. You've got your fucking lifestyle of freedom. You've built your personal brand, which is going to continually print passive income for the rest of your life. You can then do whatever you want. If you want to be a philanthropist and donate fucking tons to charity, you can do that. If you want to set your family up for financial success for the next generation, you can do that. If you want to teach younger people how to achieve similar results to you, you can do that, which is exactly what I find passionate now. And I do this for over 500 of my students inside of my Academy of Excellence. And it's proving to be massively successful. A fair few of my students have already come out to Thailand, and a lot more are on the way. They've booked their flights. They've asked me where the best place is to stay. They've booked their hotels. They're gonna come out here, live the laptop lifestyle, live a life of freedom, away from the bullshit. And the thing is, this shit doesn't actually take long. If I was to restart from zero right now, I think it would probably take me around 6 months to get to where I am now. And that's because of what I know. And I teach exactly what I know inside of my academy. And it's fucking working very well for my students. So if you're interested in shortcutting your pathway to success, I can really recommend my academy. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. I'm not asking you for a monthly subscription. You pay once, you get access to absolutely fucking everything you need to build your lifestyle of freedom. Check it out. It's first link in the description. And I hope this video was insightful for a lot of you boys who are starting from, ground zero. And you're in the trenches and you're fucking grinding, right? That's exactly what I would do step by step. Take care, boys.